In the liquidation process, there are basically two questions that need to be considered. First of all, we want to know what can be realized, so looking at the assets of the company that's being liquidated. And then secondly, who needs to be paid, to see how the proceeds from the realized assets needs to be distributed. I guess you can add a third question maybe to this, and to say that you also need to consider whether there's in the end going to be a surplus which can then be distributed to the shareholders of the company after all the creditors have been paid, or whether there's a deficit and the implications of that. So let's look at each of these questions. The aim of the liquidation process is to realize the best possible position for creditors. So during a liquidation, the focus shifts from normally where we look at the shareholders of a company and how you can a company can create wealth for the shareholders and the return that they get. With the liquidation, the focus shifts to the creditors to see how can the liquidator realize the best possible position for the creditor to ensure that the creditor gets either all the money that is owed to him back, or how can what can be done to put the creditor in the best possible position after the liquidation process. The first thing that the liquidator then needs to consider is what can be realized. So he will start off by looking at the asset base of the company to identify what assets does the company that's being liquidated possess, and in what way can those assets be realized to get the best possible proceeds from it. Important to note that with the liquidation, assets aren't normally realized at their market value, as is the case with the going concern business. So we'll most probably see that the realizable value of assets in the liquidation process is less than the market value. The assets that he'll then specifically need to consider are those assets that hasn't been given explicitly as security for one of the creditors. So all the unsecured assets he then needs to identify and see in which possible way it can be realized. So what he'll do is he'll look at the asset base of the company to see all the assets that can be realized. He'll identify which of those assets are secured, given as security to creditors, so as the security for secured creditors, and which of the assets are unsecured. So those are the assets that he'll first focus on to realize, because the secured assets are in many cases given to, for example, the mortgage holder to realize the best possible way, or at the highest possible amount. And yes, and then he'll determine the realizable amount of the assets to get an indication of what cash will he have available to settle the debts and to distribute to the creditors, and then ultimately, if there's anything left, to the shareholders.